Hi, I'm Rob, pastor of Calvary Chapel, Turlock. What should a Christian think about the Malthusian cult in our world today? Thomas Malthus was an 18th century English pastor, economist, and author. In 1798, he wrote a book titled An Essay on the Principle of Population, in which he reasoned that food supplies and access to natural resources grow linearly, while population grows exponentially. Eventually, the increased birth rates outpaced the ability to feed, clothe, and care for a given people. Finally, society suffers poverty and disease as the population collapses in abject deprivation. This is termed the Malthusian Catastrophe, and as a worldview, it has many influential subscribers. Currently, neo-Malthusians have made it their goal to save the planet by stopping population growth. But when you scratch the surface of Malthusian institutions, like the World Economic Forum, you see that many of their policy advisors are actually pushing more aggressively for depopulation. They subtly admit that most of the 8 billion people on Earth are not needed and only exacerbate pollution and climate change. This progressive conviction that people are actually the planet's disease has infected environmental groups and policymakers around the globe. Family and children are not blessings to be esteemed, but rather dangerous maladies to be cured. This is part of the reason that every form of deviant human sexuality that will not reproduce is almost universally celebrated. The opening ceremony of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, France, featured a conspicuous cluster of vulgar transgender women mocking the Last Supper of Christ. Western progressives applauded themselves for achieving a double play on the international stage. They got to openly insult Christianity under the guise of artistic expression, while simultaneously exalting a niche of human sexuality that does not produce children. This anti-family impulse is infecting world leaders and public policymakers. For instance, the United Nations stands in firm support of unrestricted abortion, and now many nations are liberalizing their euthanasia laws. It's no coincidence that they celebrate death and perversion, but repudiate the natural family. And we can already see the deleterious effect of this kind of thinking. A society needs 2.1 births per woman on average to simply sustain their population. The indigenous population of the United States has fallen to about 1.8 births per woman. Sweden is 1.5, Finland 1.3, and Japan has reached the astounding level of 1.2 births per woman. Last year they declined by 860,000 people. Japan is actually suffering a slow and steady population decimation. Family is good and a great gift from God. The Bible says that children are a blessing from the Lord, and that's always the way Christians should view the ordinance of marriage. Natural families elevate an entire society's quality of life and ability to flourish. Those children are better nurtured and instructed, and they become much more productive citizens in the future. But the family is good for adults as well. It causes men to settle down and become far more focused on providing for their dependents, which means greater economic output. It gives women the ability to nurture the next generation and to enjoy rich relationships that help curtail the current epidemic of loneliness and depression. Simply put, the natural family and the children that come from it are good. That's why the Lord told Adam and Eve, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Christians, let's hold fast to the fact that the natural family is a great benediction upon this world. Family honors the command of God, and it rewards all of humanity. Let's reject the Malthusian cult that says people are a form of planetary pollution that cause climate change. And let's esteem what God has said is good. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.